PGA TOUR.com presents the Top 10 Celebrity Tournament Hosts. In 1975, Ed McMahon lent his name to the Ed McMahon JC's Quad Cities Open held at Oakwood Country Club. McMahon helped develop a struggling event in an area hard hit by an economic downturn. McMahon's success led to the first televising of the Quad Cities Open in 1976. The King of Cool, Dean Martin, hosted the PGA Tour stop in Tucson for 4 years from 1972 to 1975. Martin was the first celebrity host brought in by the Conquistadors, and with Dino came the first network broadcast of the Dean Martin Tucson Open. Former St. Louis Cardinals catcher and Major League Baseball announcer Joe Garagiola followed up Dean Martin in Tucson, beginning as host for a one-year stint in 1977. Garagiola proved so popular that the tournament became known as the Joe Garagiola Tucson Open until 1983.
And away we go.
In 1964, Jackie Gleason reportedly moved production of The Honeymooners from New York to Miami Beach because he liked the year-round access to the golf course at Inverrary Country Club. In 1972, the club held its first PGA Tour golf tournament, hosted by the man that played Ralph Cramden, and it was named Jackie Gleason's Inverrary Classic. Gleason played host to the event 8 times.
How sweet it is.
Glenn Campbell. He is best known perhaps through the ranks of the world as one of the great pickers.
Country music star and television host Glenn Campbell played tournament host to the LA Open for 13 years between 1971 and 1983. The Rhinestone Cowboy was the first and only to lend his name to one of the PGA Tour's oldest events and historic venues. The Greater Hartford Open enlisted Sammy Davis Jr. as host from 1973 to 1988. Throughout his 16 years lending his name to the event, the Rat Pack member and Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award recipient often played in the Pro-Ams. Acclaimed comedian and television and film star Danny Thomas was an avid golfer who claimed a 10 handicap. In 1969, the Danny Thomas Diplomat Classic was played for the first and only time. Thomas would go on to lend his celebrity to the tour stop in Memphis for the next 15 years. The majority of proceeds coming from the Danny Thomas Memphis Classic continued to fund the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which was founded by Thomas himself. Former crooner and television host Andy Williams was also a voracious golfer, hosting the PGA Tour stop in San Diego for 21 years between 1968 and 1988 at Torrey Pines. In 2008, the U.S. Open was played at Torrey Pines, just the second time a municipal course hosted the major championship, thanks in part to the national exposure Williams' long-term association with the event and venue. Bing Crosby first took up golf at age 12 as a caddy, and in 1937 he hosted the first National Pro-Am Golf Championship, the Bing Crosby Pro-Am, that was popularly known as the Crosby Clambake. In 1947, the event was moved to Pebble Beach Golf Links, where it has remained since. And in 1978, Crosby was awarded the Bob Jones Award, the highest honor given by the USGA for distinguished sportsmanship, and he was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame. The celebrity who most influenced the game of golf in the United States is undoubtedly Bob Hope. The actor and comedian played to a 4 handicap, and he hosted the Bob Hope Classic from 1965 to 2008, making history in 1995 when he teed it up in a foursome that included 3 U.S. presidents, Gerald Ford, George H.W. Bush, and Bill Clinton. Hope's contributions to the game of golf have earned him the USGA's Bob Jones Award and a place in the World Golf Hall of Fame.